Day 70. Oh boy, do we have a lot in store today. Boy, do we have a lot in store today. We got a lot in store today. We got the news. We got the exact direction we're going. And boy, does it feel good. Boy, does it feel good. A lot to talk about. Let's make sure that this is up and running and beautiful. Let's turn off that. What is going on, Amir? How we doing? We got everybody in the chat. There's three things that we cover every single day when it comes to vibe coding. Number one is to actually do the coding of the vibes. Number two is to talk about what everyone else is not talking about when it comes to the actual news. And number three is to have a little bit of fun. Are we allowed to have fun? Is fun banned in 2027, 2026, 2028? Are we just walking around? The robots are already coming. Can we just smile? Maybe crack a couple of jokes? You know, yesterday I was walking around and this random thought came into my mind. I used to be the positivity guy. Let's go, Mark. I used to be the positivity guy. Then I started to booze, and then I went into the negativity guy, and I said, you know what? I think I want to be the Tony Robbins of AI. Not Tony Robbins and not AI, but you mesh the two and you kind of become that guy. People are like, oh, he's fun. He's a fun guy. He's a guy you kind of want to be around. That's what I want to be. How do we create this? Okay, so if you go in, this is a new feature that probably everybody talked around on Twitter. But if you go in and you want to go into ChatGPT, to be honest, they're coming after every business. After I saw this, they're coming after every business. You go in here, you go into sites, new, you can create your own website. Okay, what does that mean? Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, Cursor, they're becoming all of the businesses. Do you understand what this means? That nobody is safe. They are going into plugins, which is going to be a marketplace. They're going into finance. They're going into their own health. Do you understand? This is exactly what I am building. I am building this. I'm building a place that you can connect your health, you can connect your website, you can connect your to-do list. ChatGPT is already becoming this. So where am I? They're already the ADE, okay? They already have the agentic. They don't need to be the IDE. They already have the engine. That's the thing, is that I was listening to a guy, young guy, millionaire, 10 times over. I don't know. I just made the 10 times over, but he's a millionaire, probably 19. Very intelligent guy, had a bunch of businesses that he sold and everything else. And by the way, in the background, I blew all of these chats are on Soul Media. Yesterday, I blew through 100% of my weekly limit in one day. And then I wake up and they restarted me. There's no reason for them to have restarted me, but they restarted me. Maybe because I went in and I was like, what the hell is going on? I can't connect my second account. And I was actually talking with a human and not a robot because they made mistakes in their email. Maybe that's part of it. And he's like, well, have you? And I was like, yes, I deleted the app. I deleted this. Yesterday I went through a heck of a lot of work. But I'm telling you right now, I need to bring my own build exactly up to what ChatGPT is already doing. ADEs are dunzo. And I'm listening to this kid, and he says something very brilliant. He said, ideas are nothing. Everyone's got ideas. You've got ideas. Someone else got ideas. I was talking to a guy today. He's like, oh, this guy in the music industry, I don't know where he got the money. His parents must be rich. Okay. We need to start. Oh, no. Whoop. Wrong chat. I went in and I said, I need to take my entire build to the next level. The entire build. The entire workspace, LifeOS, all of the apps need to be taken to the next level. The community needs to be taken to the next level. Everything about this needs to be taken to the next level. Everything. The calendar, the inbox, the messages, everything needs to be taken to the next level. So what this guy said, very smart guy, 19 years old, worth a lot of money. I'm listening to him. There's got to be, now is August 11th, okay? And I'm about to go into a rampage. And this is, I need to get this guy going again. You have been dormant for about 24 hours, and you have been fantastic. The number one thing that we need to ensure that we are doing today, the number one goal today, is to be able to connect into the Orbit desktop our Anthropic and our OpenAI subscription accounts. That is the number one thing, along with which you have access to Test Flight, the iOS on Apple iPhones, the app that we have. So it is connecting the Orbit app for desktop and the Orbit app for the phone to be able to code in an agentic environment through our subscriptions of AI models. That is our number one goal for today. The future is going to be two things. ChatGPT is clearly doing what Anthropic is not doing. By the way, I don't know where Anthropic is. Anthropic is somewhere out in the Everglades right now. They're like rowing through a swamp. They're like the colonists. They came over, discovered the land, even though there are people here. Discovered the land. They're going throughout all of Florida and being like, this place sucks. There's mosquitoes, there's alligators, there's snakes, there's everything. And then they discover the Gulf. They discover Atlantic. Then they're like, okay, let's call this Florida Augustine, St. Augustine. That is where Claude is. Claude is discovering Florida, and they're selling land to the people in the north and being like, it's beautiful down here. Everything is amazing. Meanwhile, it sucks. OpenAI, I am shocked, but I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to tell you right now, just got to the job site. Mark giving us updates. Mark, go live. Go live from your Meta glasses. The future of anyone that's vibe coding is not the product in which they are creating. Because OpenAI clearly is swinging right for the fences. They went into health. They're silent. Maybe they're launching this loudly. I have no idea. They're going for health. They're going for websites. When you go in here, you can connect your own website. You can create and customize your own .com. Look at this. I literally in one prompt. And I stopped it because I didn't want it to blow through all my tokens. Look at that. I almost said the S word. One crappy prompt, edit the website. Is this why XAI bought Cursor? What is the point of Cursor? What is the point of coding? What is the point of AI? That's where we're at right now. Once you have frontier closed models, literally, you know what's next, by the way? This menu option is going to say law. Law. This is the problem with me right now. This is the smallest vibe coding community, but it is the highly, highly intellectual community. I'm not the guy that's trying out all the AI models. I'm the guy that says, holy cow. Oh my gosh, Charles, amateur hour. Someone's calling. Focus. Turn it off. There we go. Get that out of here. Trash! I'm the guy that's going to consult with you because your entire business is about to be disrupted because you are an attorney and Tesla is going into Austin, Vegas and saying, we got robo-taxis. But we go after the people that were in car crashes. Well, people are not driving anymore. Do you understand what OpenAI is doing right now? When Sam Altman, I was on the treadmill last week and I talked about it. Last time I vibe coded, it was either Wednesday or Thursday last week, which, by the way, never take off more than 2 days. Never take off more than 2 days. Today's sole goal is by the end of the week is to have the ability for me at any time to talk on my phone. I can be in the crapper. Right now, I'm done. I need this deal to close in real estate. So now I have another runway of an additional 6 months. So all of you, all the guys, get on your freaking knees, by your bed, do the sign of the cross, and pray for me. Because I'm telling you right now, you're all wiped out unless you're blue collar. Everyone is wiped out. Going back to my rant. Last week, Sam Altman said that what is coming down the line, and he is so confident, so he already knows the future. Okay? Sam, what is going on with AI? Is there anyone that we should, and I forgot the exact wording of the question. He came back and said something that I almost shut off the treadmill and just been like, all right, let me buy a piece of land in Florida that's in the middle of nowhere and just live with the alligators. I'll live with the boa constrictors that's wiping out all of the Everglades. I'll live with those fellas. Just give me an airboat. Give me the mosquitoes. I don't curse anymore, and I know I say that all the time. I have to remind myself, as a guy that played sports, literally hockey, rugby, all this stuff, was in a fraternity, all I did was every third word was curse. They are going after everyone because Anthropic said, Boris, who's the founder of Claude Code, said recently in an interview, highly recommend, and they asked him about Palantir and Alex Karp, and Boris was like, who said that? Who said that we're disrupting everything? Oh, it's Alex Karp from Palantir. Obviously, Palantir they're all competing with each other. It's an absolute slugfest. It's a mosh pit among mosh pits. Between data centers, who's got it's chaos that I love. There is no centralized intelligence anymore. There is no centralized agencies anymore. There's no centralized data anymore. I love it. The problem is nobody who has a frontal cortex trying to just provide for their family loves this at all. I'm going to piece together a lot. This is going to be one of the most important vibe coding sessions you're going to listen to in a while because this has to set you up for 2027. Otherwise, you're effed. You are effed. When I popped in here last week on Friday trying to get this stupid thing to work, and I go, sites! Never seen that before. That's weird. That's weird. Why is it not expanded? Great. There we go. Sites. What site? So okay, create a site. You don't even need creatives anymore. The creative is just going to use ChatGPT. Who's a creative? A creative is, I know design. No, you don't, dude. You now have AI. Let's go to scene 2. You now have AI. And you manage it from AI. Once you're on OpenAI, where are you going to go? You don't have the files anymore. You don't have the files. Let's go on full screen. You don't have the files. GBT has your files. GBT has your files. How do you download the files? How do you download the files? How do you download the files? This isn't WordPress. This isn't going to a different hosting system. Okay? That's on purpose. The EU has something called EU AI, whatever, and you have to, and obviously this was put into the community yesterday. And it was put in, but why is this a thing? Where he said, by the way, this is going to be in every single... They have to do this, by the way. There has to be metadata in every single, and it lives beyond copy and paste. It lives beyond people trying to find it. It lives beyond everything. Obviously, people will find it. Okay, it's like anything else. Everything will be pirated. Everyone will be able to find it. That's not the thing. The thing now is, who's to say Claude is, you can't take our stuff away from Claude. You can't take OpenAI away from OpenAI. You generated that off of OpenAI. You need to remain on our website. Okay? I am getting chills. This is a monumental shift. This menu, if I was Apple, I would be worried. This thing is going to say apps. This is going to say law. This is going to say government. This is going to say adventures, traveling, to-do list, CRM, real estate. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. Yeah, like Perplexity has nothing because it's just a wrapper. Law has nothing because, or law in the sense of going to court is different than drawing up a contract. I haven't used an attorney to draw up a contract before COVID. I paid someone $1,200, and by the way, he said, that's our minimum just to start my LLC in 2014. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to do it. Privacy statement, ChatGPT and Claude. Terms of service, ChatGPT and Claude. User experience, making sure the website. I'm getting chills. And I'll tell you this in a good way. The only two things that are going to... So I have so much to say about this because on the Moonshots podcast, and I was about to say something else about the intelligence agencies, but obviously they're all going to be knocking at my door. Moonshots is wrong, except for either Peter Diamandis or Salim. So Salim, if you don't understand, the Moonshots podcast is an excellent podcast because, here we go. So you gotta listen to this. Obviously, I've ripped through every single episode. Okay? This guy is very positive to AI, a little too much, where he say AI could be sentient, conscious, and everything else. But he's brilliant in his own right, but he's completely wrong with conscious. You can't be consciousness. You can't do the double slit experiment. Super. Holy cow! I have so much going through my brain. You can't do spooky action at a distance. You can't do superposition. These are all physics terms that you can't do through AI because you need consciousness, actual consciousness, and you can't do that. Very smart guy. He agrees with Alex. He's along for the ride. Very nice guy. But Salim said something very interesting, is that when you take away agency of doing something for humans, they're all... Peter's not. But these three are going to say the world will be so abundant that people will not know what to do with themselves. Exactly. people will not know what to do with themselves. So guess what? They will become fat, lazy, obedient, and they will not think, and they will have no language, and they'll have no intelligence. We will become blobs. When we don't create that whole intelligence layer, we will get dumber faster. We will die sooner. They're too bullish about AI. Once I saw that, and I'll go through the actual coding that I'm doing, because once I landed upon sites, I go, what's his name? Sam Altman. He's coming after everybody. And by the way, maybe that's why he has every single investor coming into. He obviously said something because he received the most amount of VC. All funding went to OpenAI. A portion went to Anthropic. Obviously, the IPO of XAI came out. But yeah, like, and by the way, Mark, the only word, speech matters. In the word, or in the beginning, there was the word. That's it. Creation is speech. Thought is instantaneously. Even though that's personal development-ish, the number one thing is labor. Don't say work, labor. Because work for many people means you get in a car and you do something. A woman is labor. A man has labor. Okay? When someone is painting something, a fresco in a cathedral, that's labor. If you are creating pillars for beautiful marble pillars, that's labor. So just say labor. A woman who is creating food for someone who is doing that, that's labor. So and this isn't a knock to you, but words matter. Labor. We have labor. That is the only thing is. When you attach, let's go to, and I knew I was going to riff today. I did not know it was going to be this crazy, just because when people are so short-sighted, let's go to apps. I got to draw this out. Freehand. Okay, here we go. I know this could be better and this could be bigger and everything else. All right. Here it is. The only thing you have is labor. Labor, up until right now, was tied to, it was not tied to capital. Whoops. Well, obviously this could be upgraded. I won't even draw it out anymore. Unless freehand is working. Okay. This is labor. Labor was never tied to this thing. But now we are tied to this thing. So we call this work. Forever, it was never tied to the dollar. It was never tied to the dollar. Money happened to be there. It was forever tied to, I give you a belt, you give me crops. You give me fruit, I give you seed. I help you build your house, you give me dinner. It was always tied to, you give me, I give you. And it was never equal. It was never equal. Money was never as thought of as now. Accumulation, individualism, capitalism was never thought of. It was always about create beauty, create for the world, create for the divine. But when labor becomes tailored and thought of solely in capitalistic terms, and I'm not saying this like capital and social and that's far, this is way above those points. Those are people that are on low level thinking. When you are thinking only of the dollar, and people only think of the dollar. And then when the dollar goes away, and now you're thinking of compute, you're thinking of tokens. Now it's a different conversation. People are thought of only as good as the money they make. That's a bad concept. That's a bad concept. Okay? This weekend, I was at my mom's house. She had a lot of stuff that I needed to do physically. My labor was free. Well, granted, she cooked. My labor was to beautify her property to make it presentable to the community. So the community looked at her house and said, oh, wow, I like that. Maybe I should do it. There was a communal aspect to living. There was never an individualistic idea of living. Now, people say, why is he spending time beautifying his mom's property when he could be spending his time making money? His Saturday and Sunday should be making money. Pay someone to do that. Okay? That's a new concept. That's probably a 30-year-old concept. That is brand new to human development, to human capital. It was always, wow, my dad worked all week to provide, and now he's working all weekend. People worked 6 days a week, and then you took off Sunday. That's how it was. Okay? That's called labor. When you take away someone's agency, there's two words that I want you to focus on. When you take away someone's agency to labor, obviously I'm drawing this with the notepad, but this word has to be looked up. There's an excellent book called The Power of Agency. When you take away someone's agency, I don't know why it's going banana hammocks, but when you take away someone's agency for labor, in their mind today, because everything has revolved around capital, they think they are not worth their value in their own mind goes down. Because they think their value is tied to money and they don't make money, their whole value of themselves go down. Our mindset was never about money. It was never about competing. It was never about keeping up with the Joneses. It was never about accumulation. It was never about more. It was never about how can I upgrade my car, get a better house, make sure that my kid is... That was always for, say, the aristocrats, the Burgoyne. It was never about anyone else. It was always like, yeah, they have a pool, who cares? It was never like, they have a pool, I'm jealous. They have a pool, I need a pool. They have a nice car, I need a nice car. This is brand new thinking. The problem is that we're getting beyond this brand new thinking. The problem is that we have had literally a generation and a half that has been instilled and indoctrinated that now that we're taking away the almighty dollar, whether it's against our will because we're in so much debt nationally, or we're taking away money because there's so much quote unquote abundance, that they are now going to move into a world of abundance, that everything is going to be provided. All of the healthcare, all of the money, all of the housing, everything is going to be provided for. Don't worry about it. You're going to be paid on tokens. It's going to be paid on compute. We're actually going to share in AI, and that is a future that is impossible right now. That's impossible because the economy is so entrenched in individualism away from collectivism that if you try and move towards that direction, chaos will reign. People will fight for the old system. That's the entire part of the matrix. People will fight for the old system with the people looking for abundance, thinking abundance is what people want. People want they don't want new. They want stability. They want order. Okay, that's the word I'm looking for. People want order. What is order? I wake up, the train is there at this time, I get on the same train, I'm probably standing at the station at the same time, or my car is in the driveway. I go to the same place to get my coffee. My coffee's over there. I go to work. I know that the same people are going to be there. I know my paycheck is going to be this. I know my kids are going to be going to school. My wife is going to say this. The food's going to be this. I have this on the weekend. My calendar is this. I have Christmas on this day. I have Thanksgiving on this day. I'm looking forward to this. There is order. The world in which there is going to be transitioning into is never going to be realized because there are too many factions, and by factions I mean banking, data centers, AI models, AI, robotics, automation, government, bureaucrats who are just hungry for power. They have this Napoleon effect. They're just hungry for power. Banks are hungry for wealth. Robotics are... It's never going to be realized, so there's going to be an extreme amount of friction going into the future. And the reason I'm saying this, there's ever going to be a dystopia. Dostoevsky said it in his, is it Paradise Lost? No, that's Dante. Dostoevsky said, people, when they receive utopia, just like in the Garden of Eden, they want disorder. They want variety. People need variety, but too much variety creates uncertainty. And when you have uncertainty, then you have fear. So there has to be a good balance. It's probably 70-30, 80-20, probably 90-10. 90 order, 10% variety. Oh my gosh, there's traffic. There was never traffic. It's raining. I thought it was going to be sunny. My boss is out. I didn't know he was going to be out. Not your entire industry is wiped out. Okay. Thank you for all of this. What would the orchestrator say are the next items, if not anything on this? We need a visual pass. We also need to make sure that we are actually competing with Google Calendar. We are going to be rolling this out into production for our members, so they're going to use the calendar. The calendar is also going to be integrated nicely into the area within the personal workspace of the tasks and checklists. Go find those within the personal area and make sure that they're integrated in there. Also in there for the integration are streaks, which is also in the personal area, and workouts. All right, the studio. Look at that. Look at that. Does it say approximately 9.25 hours remain? Yes or no? Tell me you are not telling me there's 9 hours left of this feature. Yes or no? The only thing I don't like about Sol... What does this mean then? What does this mean? Is that in the age of quote-unquote abundance... Okay, so this is the... Upgrade the sign-in feature. Okay. This is the e-sign feature that I'm going to be... And I know I said this earlier, but I'm moving everything away from I have to go live with this. Okay, so I have to move literally everything from my own inbox, my own calendar, my own drive, my own docs, my own to-do list, my own e-sign. Everything has to move away from the SaaS that I'm already moving, knowing that AI is literally going after everything. Everything. OpenAI, now that they just silently rolled out sites, health, connect your health. Like I said before, they're going to go into law. Law is contracts. Law is plan your estate, plan your LLC, get your LLC filed, file your taxes. Against your will. Yeah, so this is what Studio is going to be. I don't know if it's going to break it, but Studio essentially is going to be me doing, and I'll see if it actually breaks any of the cameras. Yep. All right, so it broke the right camera. But I'm going to be able to go in here, and if I was any SaaS product, I would be just taking a huge, I would need a diaper. We'll just say that. Because I go in here, I can then upload my own photos. This is what I want to do. Upload all these screenshots. I need this to be transparent, translucent. I can move this around wherever I want. I could record it. I could obviously do resizing. Do you understand how insane this is? Do you understand how insane this is? I said, I want the background to ensure the entire screenshot perfectly fits on 9x16. 9x16 is obviously your phone. 16x9 is YouTube. So it's either horizontal or vertical. What I'm going to do now is take this, put it into the Studio feature. Whoops. Put this into the Studio feature. Let's just do the top one. The most important thing with this build is to make sure that my camera that I put down to the lower right and left, or wherever my camera is, which in this position is the lower right, I can click on it and I could zoom with the actual trackpad on my laptop, zoom in and out, which would zoom, make larger or make smaller, zoom in and out the actual camera, number one. Number two is there would be a translucent background. It is very important that we add in some kind of tool that makes sure that I can have a translucent background so that only I, who is on the camera, is actually visible on the actual canvas. That is very important. I've also tried to film videos, and for whatever reason, it's still not working and or actually rendering in Cloudflare. If it's easier to render on my Mac Studio and then delete, that's very important that we delete it so we're not actually taking up any space. But translucent background, I could zoom in and out on the background through my trackpad if I actually click on it, or I could zoom in and out with my trackpad on the camera if I click it, and obviously making sure that it actually records. All right, send that out. The freehand, which I just tried to do, that is still in a terrible state right now. Does the orchestrator say that we need to do anything with the e-sign? This needs to be in complete competition, cloning, and rival of DocHub.com. Spawn up as many agents as you need. If the orchestrator says, yes, we are good to go, then perfect. If there needs to be a feature testing, reviewing, or ensuring it's responsive on all screen sizes and it's perfect and ready for production, then it's ready for production. otherwise have that orchestrator who's highly intelligent continue working in an infinite loop. I am so dialed in, by the way. I am so dialed in. I was listening to a guy yesterday who, let me bring up the, there we go. I was listening to a guy yesterday that, and let me know if anything is actually broken. All right, let's do this. All right. So we're not going to go into studio anymore because obviously now we have to do this stupid thing. Let's go down here. Let's do that. And I was listening to him yesterday, and he said something very interesting. This is a guy that I looked up to. He goes, we're going to bring in your health. We're going to be bringing in your money. You're going to be bringing in your to-do list. Once I heard that, I go, oh. There's two things I got from that. Number one is, okay, so this is all of those. That was a lot of things I was doing yesterday. Let's check the usage. 67%, that's insane, by the way. As the orchestrator and talking only with the orchestrator, spin up whatever agents you want to express any new features, testing, review, and or items that needs to happen to ensure that any of the original links are actually brought up to production level. We are going to be going live, and your admin, me, who's actually telling you what to do, the owner of everything, is going to be using this. Before you actually say yes or no, spawn up the agents necessary in an infinite loop to make sure it is perfect and ready for our users based on all of the original links. Individually look at all of them, not as the orchestrator, but you spinning up less intelligent workers coming back to you with a game plan or not a game plan on what to do or not to do. If it's nothing, then I'll close it out. I was thinking about it yesterday. When you have infinite money, the whole site seems to be in safe mode because pics aren't loaded. Oh. That was actually, I think, from... Let's get Fable going. You know what? I'm not actually in my Mac studio. I was thinking about it yesterday. I left work, and I'm like, if I had an infinite amount of money, and I had Sol running and I had all the agents running in a VPS cloud, virtual private server with all the agents there, and I'm in an infinite loop, and I said, I want you to build a complete clone of every single feature of XYZ website or XYZ app. Nothing. And I guarantee this is exactly what OpenAI is doing, allegedly, in my opinion. Nothing is off the table anymore. Nothing is off the table. No business, no company, no idea. No idea is off the... No SaaS, no startup, no VC. Who's to say VC's Sequoia is not being like, oh, that's a great idea, let's build it. Sequoia is meeting with all these angel investors or angels who are looking to have investors, and they're like, oh, that's a good idea. Actually, we're going to build that ourselves. We're going to think a very highly competent person to be running this. Thanks for the good idea. We'll do it on our own. Why is this not actually loading right now? This should not have been interrupted. That's weird. This should not be like that. All right, let's close that down. Why I'm fired up is going back to that story about the guy who I looked up to as a vibe coder. He said all those things. Whoops. Should be in my Mac Studio. He said all those things, and I go, oh, okay. People are building an idea based on the world in which they are operating for, and there's nothing. Why is this not? There you go. Jeez, why is that opening? Find out why it's extremely slow to open up Claude Code right now. Is it my Mac Studio or my MacBook that I'm in? All right. Spin up another one. Each chat takes way too long. Each chat takes way too long. There's got to be something going on. There's got to be something going on. Something's going on in the background. Something's up right now. Something's up right now. My laptop is so hot right now. It is burning right now. I don't know what's going on. Am I not logged in? Is that why? This happened yesterday. I gotta be honest. I don't know if Why Is This a Thing is in the chat, but you had me download a Git, and that Git effed up my system. It's probably me. It's probably me. But dude, that thing effed up my system. It was using Claude as the interface or whatever you want to call it. And it has never been the same. And it was using my AI subscription. It was essentially using Claude Code here, but the models were not Claude models, they were OpenAI models. Yeah, there's something going on here. There's something going on. Since I downloaded that Git, I tried to get rid of all of it yesterday. That's why I was so frustrated yesterday. I was like, get rid of all this trash. And so it's in the Mac Studio. That's being spun up. Let's go to account. Signed in. But the thing is, it didn't pop up. It didn't pop up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Oh boy. Which really pisses me off because I was using Fable for a bunch of stuff with the community separate than the actual build. What's going on, Chuck? What's going on, Chicago? Chuck is in the house. See, it wasn't him. The issue was so we're back in Claude, but yeah, I think I gotta get rid of all of. All right, we're not even gonna pay attention to you because you're just gonna put me in a bad mood. So we'll just delete you. Interesting. What I noticed. So this is okay, that didn't affect anything. So this is going to be, all right, so that's connected to this camera, which is the Osmo. And essentially, the Osmo is going to be, I'm going to bring up all the news. I'm going to be talking about the news. I'm going to record the news. And then I'm going to post it. And that's going to be the best way to actually get out videos every single day. On top of that, I have to be in my own Life OS. We also need to get the actual ride up and working. The graphics are getting much better, but What I want you to do is spawn as many agents necessary that the orchestrator needs. This needs to be brought to a 98 out of 100 when it comes to graphics, speed, wiring, and rendering everything from the assets library using whatever graphics engine is necessary. I want you to ensure that the ride, when we are connecting our indoor riding kicker and or users who want to go throughout the metaverse / Sims style world, are at unbelievable levels, competing with all of those games and in an infinite loop until we get to a 98. I don't want the orchestrator to be doing this, but to be the project manager overlooking all of the workers. All right, so that is spinning up. Here we go. This is the issue right now. So this is what the world looks like. Obviously, it is really low, but this is what the riding looks like, which I'm not mad about. The ride looks much better. Obviously, the people look terrible. So it's, for me, listen, I just started working out again after years of being away from the pool, of running, of biking, and everything else. Do you want me to get in there and be Michael Phelps? Like, to be honest, I'm spending $250 every single year. No, more than that. $20. No, yeah, about $260. Say $260. Biking was very well this weekend. Thank you for asking. I was exhausted by the end of it, so much so that I asked my AI agent, who's my coach, my triathlon coach, said, this week you got to taper. Taper means lay off the hard workouts. The workouts, I went from like a score of 19, I think it's a TSS score 19, to like some crazy number like 48. I like doubled or tripled or something like that. So I was like, you got to calm down this week. So this week is a calm down day. Today was my first rest day in probably a month. So today was my first rest day. I did just walk on a high incline for about 15 minutes to get the blood flowing. I biked up there, biked back. So that's the thing. If I get, or not if, when I get this up to a level, imagine all of us on a bike. Imagine you have Mark's second home over here overlooking the ocean. You know, this is somebody's house. Charles, it looks terrible. I can't believe it. It's AI slop. Yeah, okay. Who's to say that, I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know what that is. That's upgrading the kit. But look at that. Obviously, his tush isn't even on the seat. But, man. And his feet are backwards. But, you know, you build your, if I build the arrival to an indoor area, that's something where people say, I can't get off of OpenAI because my 10 websites that I actually code with, because it's in the sites area, I can't leave. You can't leave AI because, I'm sorry, you can't leave OpenAI. You can't leave ChatGPT because they have your websites, they have your health, they have your chats, they have your plugins. The plugins, dude, the plugins, are you kidding me? Soon the plugins are going to be apps. Look at this. This is insane. Healthcare, travel, entertainment. Get this out of here. Tarot. That's witchcraft. Get that out of here. But look at this. You can order food from your website. Hey, get my burrito. Order it. Order the burrito. Do it from your watch. I want my burrito. I'm looking to go to Aruba this weekend. I want you to book a hotel, flight, and car at the least expensive pricing, and I want to leave in the morning and have my car at the airport, and I want the hotel to be at least a 4.5 on Hotels.com. Can you give me my list of the food? I'm about to go to the grocery store, and I am tracking my health. My doctor said I have to get my blood pressure down. Actually, not even my doctor. You, as the AI, said I have to get this down because I sent my blood to a little prick of my blood to someone else who just put it through AI and mapped out my whole genome. And they said that I'm susceptible to heart disease. I need lots of beets. Think of 5 recipes with beets in them. The reason I'm serious about this is because nobody's talking about this. Dude, you have investment banking. You have investment banking in here. My brother is in investment banking. He's at a big bank. You have public equity investments. Do you understand? This is AI that's literally integrating their APIs. ChatGPT is going to roll out mail, roll out calendar, roll out a CRM, roll out your website, roll out Calendly, roll out booking, roll out health, roll out your LLC, your taxes. Are you kidding me? All these people are screwed. Lovable screwed. Supabase is screwed. Adobe is screwed. Figma screwed. Canva screwed. Is anyone paying attention to the world now? Seriously. This is not the app's store. This is ChatGPT. Literally going to be your end-all, be-all. You're going to come into ChatGPT and the dashboard is going to be what I'm building. Like, that's what it comes down to. You're going to go in, you're going to have your dashboard of health, your dashboard of money, your dashboard of your to-do list, your workout, your family, your calendar, your inbox, your coding, your websites. That's what I'm building. That's what I'm building. It's all going to be on your phone. They have infinite money. They have infinite servers, speed. They have the AI models. They have the team. Like, I truly don't think people understand how insane this is going to be getting. Everything is going to be up for grabs. And to be honest, if you are not in one of 3 areas, I don't know what you would be doing. Perplexity, obviously, I think it was Amir said it before, Perplexity. Perplexity's up for grabs. Cursor, obviously bought, so that's done. Lovable, up for grabs. Salesforce, up for grabs. A lot of these companies are public. Salesforce is public. Figma, I think, went public. Adobe. You know? It is insane. Okay, so, Charles, what does this mean? This means 3 things. Number 1 is authenticity is going to be the only personality trait of the future. That's it. That's it. That is it. Micro audiences is the future. Micro audience is the future. Micro audience is I go live to the same 200 to 250 people that I jive with. Of course, you're going to have the Mr. Beasts that are going live to all the people that work at all these, very low thinking people. They're cogs in a wheel right now. It's just a matter of time until they're given their compute or their money or their Fed token to just get in line. We've got a robot doing it for you. Don't worry about it. We've automated your job. Thank you very much. They're definitely going to be rolling out their own, but kind of like harnesses, power uses, migrate options compatible with all models. Why do you go to Google? This is the best way to say it. Why do you go to Google? Yahoo's got Gmail. Why not go to a different cloud than Google Drive? Why do you use Google Maps? Why do you use Google Calendar? Google Docs? When you go to something that is reliable, that's very good, and you're used to it, and everything connects, then you just go to that ecosystem. The reason that YouTube took off instead of Vimeo, this is in 2007, 2008, 2009, is because there was a subscribe button available that Vimeo did not have. There was, I think, 4 times the amount of ways that people could subscribe to channels that made people coming back to YouTube. There is addiction that is a science to food, to drinks, to anything when it comes to experiences, to apps, to anything. Why would someone come back to ChatGPT? It first starts with ChatGPT. Then it goes to coding. Then it goes to websites. Then it goes to health. Then it goes, I could plug in any kind of plugin I want in any arena. They're going to come up with everything. Their own browser, their own calendar, their own Dropbox, their own Figma, they already started it with health, which is the hardest one to do. Health and law are the hardest things to do. One thing that I forgot to actually talk about is education. I forgot about education. Education, health is number one. That's where the most amount of money is made right now. The amount of people that are sick, on drugs, is alarming and sad. Because those people are the ones fighting the system, not knowing that if you want to fight the system, being healthy is the easiest way to fight the system. I don't need to be on drugs. I don't need, that's so easy for you to say. That's Rich from All the Doubters when I was addicted to literally, I was a bottle to the face, 6.5 years, 750 milliliter bottle of liquor every single night, blackout drunk every single night for 6.5 years, except for the last, let's go to 57 days. I've spent well into the 5 figures on alcohol. Blew through 6.5 years of my life. Don't remember the last 6.5 years of my life. And it's a hell of a thing to get off of. For 5 years, I wanted to stop. For someone else, that's social media, that's drama, that's being mad at the world, that's sugar, that's late, or being addicted to, some show, that's gambling, that's whatever. Someone throughout the world has their addiction. The problem is when everything is revolving around ease of use and the moat is how do we make your life easier then there is no area about wellness, of authentic wellness. That's the best way to say it. Real authentic wellness. Real authentic wellness is you need vitamin D. And vitamin D is not coming in a tablet. Vitamin D is go outside and get some sun for 30 hours in the morning, 30 minutes in the morning, this is not health advice. Don't come at me. I'm not a doctor. 30 minutes. This is what I do. Don't do what I'm doing. 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, and grounding. Grounding, I swear by. No, I don't. I do it personally. You should not do it. Grounding is the natural way that your feet touch the earth. I read about it. I heard about it. I've tried it. It worked for me. All right. Freehand needs to be... I just used it. It was not in an ideal state. It was very janky when it came to actually using the mouse pad and drawing. The arrows are very small. Moving the text should enlarge it automatically when I drag and drop around a text that I just put onto the canvas, the text box. There needs to be ease of use and a better user experience, better user interface. Use the orchestrator to spin up agents to really polish this and bring it to the next level, making this a 100 out of 100 into a looping orchestration with workers under an orchestrator agent. Testing and review to make sure it's a 100 out of 100. They did this with sites too. You can create your own and host it. Oh yeah. 100%. That's what I did. This literally was the crappiest prompt. I don't even think I put in a prompt. I said just create me a website because I didn't think it would actually do it. Created the website. Then I went into, it was either edit or settings. Nope. Let's get out of here. It was settings. Yep. And it said connect your own custom domain. Right here. So you're telling me this is exactly what I was doing. You now have, look at this. Look at this. I got to close the door. You're telling me you got a bio site. So this is going to knock out Bitly. Bitly is a paid bio site. It's a short link website. WordPress is gone. They're going to add in everything. You already have the environmental variables. You know. I put that in. This might change. Oh, editing the URL is coming soon, which means that you can't compete with someone else. So automatic saves up here on the upper portion right here. It's just saved. This is a beautiful triathlon coach. These are, now we're niching down. I think all these should be good. Okay. Based on what the orchestrator wants to do, is there anything within this chat based on the future is going to be one of two things, and that's it. It's going to be experiences, and it is going to be authenticity. That's it. If everything else is handled, I don't need to do my taxes anymore. I don't need to create a design anymore. I don't have to create my website anymore. I don't have to do my order pickup. I don't have to actually have anything picked up from the grocery stores because the robot already knows that this is out of my refrigerator. I ran out of salads. It automatically rings whole heck of a chat. This is insane. Oh yeah, this was the actual community. This was the logged in. So this unfortunately changed. Let's see if the VS Code is. Okay, so it says it's connected. I had to retry it. Okay, so now it was quick. I don't want you to actually do anything, but I want you to find out why it is very slow for any chats to be loaded up within my Mac Studio. Keep in mind that I am SSH'd into the Mac Studio from my MacBook. Dive into researching and coming back with only solutions and not problems. Diagnose the problem, give me solutions that are permanent fixes based on the speed in which we are operating. Okay, so that needs to be spun up because that's slow. Anytime I open a Claude, it's way too slow. I just pressed it. Now we're 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, I don't even know if VS Code is working. I might need to delete VS Code. I think I'm deleting it. I don't know what happened, but like something happened on that GitHub. Something happened on that GitHub that really wrecked my VS Code. Really wrecked my VS Code. And wow. I don't know what the heck happened, but that just crushed. That was not a good, whoops, that might have been 2. Okay, good. I don't know why my download at work is so slow. That's like 6 megs per second. Terribly slow. Terribly slow. Ironically enough, is what ChatGPT is building is literally what I was thinking about. And essentially the way that it's going to go is just going to be, it's just slowly going to move. I was watching a great video by Whisper. Whisper already knows where they're going. So Whisperflow is essentially text-to-speech, but they're moving from, essentially it's almost thought-to-speech to text. And essentially it's going to be thought to text. And the way that this guy had a little device, it came and he had all these electrodes all over his face and he was trying it there. But it's going to come down to very close. You know, you wonder if Elon is doing Neuralink to Neuralink to help people out, which I heard there was not ideal trials going on with Neuralink. Allegedly, my opinion. In other words, well, I won't get into it. But by they, I mean above us. What is going on? I don't know why they keep on asking me for the same diagnosis. Keep on asking for the same diagnosis. It's so weird. It is so weird. Something happened in this. Something happened in this Claude Code. Okay, so I interrupted it. Okay, so let's continue it. Okay, so I'm just gonna let it finish because something happened. Where I don't even know if I can open up a second. Okay, the second window opens. All right, now let's let's go back over here. Let's keep this in the doc. Let's get out of the dictionary. Let's go back to the community, and let's put the community screenshot in here, because I don't know what the heck is going on, but none of these images are popping up. Okay, so the first one is good. Second one needs to go away. Okay, so this is what it's saying. The transcript bloat 11 gigs. All right, we need to start. That's insane. Okay, I got to start. That was the issue yesterday. So I went to OpenAI and I said, I'm having an issue and it's not me. And what it was, I finally diagnosed it as a GitHub that I cloned, and it essentially went into my Claude Code interface here, but the models were not Claude Code, it was OpenAI. So it was essentially using the interface of Claude Code with OpenAI models. Not a good idea. Once you go to those levels, you're messing something up. What I want you to do is diagnose why there's no images coming up in the main feed, and also on the right side. Spawn as many agents to ensure that we have a permanent solution to make sure the feed has its images, the social posts are being pulled up, the videos, and anything that is shared in the main feed. Also in the right side, there are articles that need to be shared as well. When it comes to images popping up. All right. Maybe erase the computer and start over. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty close to... All right. So a lot of these should be done. Okay, so this is the orchestrator, no-go on calling 100 out of 100. The work is strong. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to leave these and just do about 4 or 5 at a time, because this is the one that really matters. This is the one that really matters. And then everything else is... How insane is that? That it literally will have 27 agents working. This is what OpenAI or Anthropic should be doing right now. It needs to coordinate with the... And just think of its own icons. This person does sleep. This person does calendar. This person does whatever. And you know visually what every single... Because we're obviously not only visual, but we're icon driven. Icons, as they said forever, icons are very important. It's been for thousands of years. Thousands of years. Icons, symbols, symbology. Icons are intrinsic to humans and our brains. Words are too much. Why have 4 words, 4 words, 4 words, 3 long words, 4 words, if you could just have that? If I could just have that, if I could just have that, one's design, one's architecture, one's database, one's front end, one is coding, one is wiring, one is security, everything. Like, these are cool symbols too. Like, look at that, cool symbol, love it. All right, so the studio feature, oh my gosh, dude. Okay. Okay. Wow. Let's try it out, boys. Dude, if I can literally put this into... here's the studio. Refresh it. I don't know if that's going to blow out my camera. Okay, so it blew out my camera. We're just going to have to work with one camera, boys. All right, so that blew out one camera. Open the recorder. Yeah, it's not taking out the background. It is not taking out the background. All right, let's move that away. The background needs to be transparent. So let's just open up. Let's drag and drop. Add file or add images. Yeah, it's still not doing transparency. The first thing is, did you push this live? All right, let's go to Codex. Codex needs to have a better, or ChatGPT needs to have a better icon. Their icon sucks. Because that's not what it looks like. Did you commit all of these files? Because I just did a new recording session and it was not in transparent background. Maybe add in either an option where I press the button and it goes to transparent background or not transparent background. As some of the times I'll want to have a transparent background. Other times I'll just be riffing and it's on camera either as 16.9 or 9:16. Dude. Do you understand? And I know I say that a lot, but what I'm building now is a 200 how much am I paying for Riverside? I'm paying $240 a year. Over the course of 4 years, that's $1,000. I then do that for my Salesforce, my not WordPress, but my Squarespace. I do it for my Clips. I do it for my Google Business. That's what ChatGPT is going after. That's what they're going after. All right, let's take a screenshot of this because I am not translucent or transparent, whatever you want to call it. Let's put this over here. They're going after it all. They're going after it all. And to be honest, this is what I was going for. I don't want to be that guy. I also hate being right. I really do. I hate being right. Boris and Dario, whether they're actually saying this in the background, they have said it many times publicly. Oh, what about all the jobs? Alex Karp, Palantir CEO, talked about it. He at least publicly talked about it. You could say whatever you want about Palantir, and I agree with that. But you got to have the guys say the quiet part out loud. And ChatGPT and Sam Altman, they don't say the quiet part out loud, but they're also not denying it. Sam Altman, maybe he was brought into a room and was like, no, you should be more positive about AI and jobs, and everyone's going to be more productive, and people are going to live in this infinite utopia, and the token use and compute is going to be incredible, and everyone's going to be lovely and beautiful, and they're going to be, they're going to be like Russell Crowe when he's about to die and he's going down the pathway to his house and he's touching all of the beautiful wheatgrass, They think that this is going to be it. Here we go. They think this is what it's going to be like. Russell Crowe will be like, oh, oh, oh. And you're walking through as a warrior, as a man. And you're like, yeah, I'm a man. I'm so like a man. I'm Russell Crowe. I fought off beasts. I used to be a slave. And I freed myself. Not to be the Debbie of Down News, but AI is going to do your thinking. Okay? AI is going to do your thinking. Touch crash, Ocean. This is the definition. For all you memers out there, this is it. This is touch wheat. Wheat. Look at it. Look at this landscape. You got your wife. You got your kid. Your kid's running up to you. Your wife is crying. She's beautiful. You own all this land. But instead, you're stuck with me to tell you what it's really like. Good day, fantastic. Yeah. What I could say as well is, why do I say that AI is going to be doing all of your thinking? Because smarter people already built what we want to build, and what AI is doing and being like, oh, okay, we already built the foundation. We've attached it to a database. We then wired it to an interface. We made it responsive to all screens. Now we can either go many directions. We can go to a desktop. We can go to an AI, or I'm sorry, we can go to a actual mobile app, or we can do what this literally just said. Look at this. The next competitive. Brilliant. I just noticed that I'm actually not live on my right screen. This is the last time I'm going to actually pull this up. Last time I'm doing this. Last time. It actually said that the competitive advantage. Whoops. Let's get you out of here. The competitive advantage for a unified day planner is unscheduled tasks, routines, streaks, and workouts in a desktop, rail, mobile sheet. It's doing my thinking for me. It's doing the thinking for me. It's doing the next logical and reasonable and competitive upgrade. It's doing it. It's doing the thinking is easy. Thinking is, I am in a padded closet. That's where people have to put me so I don't actually harm the. No, I'm kidding. This is the best way to say it because I get very loud, very fast. This isn't even thinking. That's the difference. We are at a moment of time where we are now literally just doing what is the next logical step so I am better than the next person. The issue here is that you have to be tied intimately with your AI at all times. No days off. That's the difference. That's why I wouldn't want to be at a frontier model. I wouldn't even want to be at a closed source model. I wouldn't even want to be at a SaaS place. I wouldn't even want to be at any software place at all. At all. No, you can't pay me to be at any public software company at all. No Monday.com, no Salesforce, nothing for coding, no Cursor, no Wix, no WordPress, no MailChimp, nothing. Google, no way. No way. Why? Let's talk about Google for a second. Google, with Gemini, has quietly sunset pretty much every Gemini after the failed pitch and the failed releasing. Look at this. Google may retire free Geminis in the favor of paid Spark skills. I'm not going to lie. For all the people that I know and knew at Google, Google management right now is really making some chaotic moves. Probably not listening to the user base. That's all I'm saying. Google was brilliant because they said if the enterprise models, the enterprise companies that we sell to that are stored either on our servers or on Oracle's, IBM's, NVIDIA, AWS, it doesn't matter. But we are on top of their servers and we're the software on top of their servers and we're selling to the enterprise models and you can't go anywhere else because we're the best. And we have the console, the development of console. We have all the apps. We have the calendar and the to-do and the email and the mail and all the advertising and all the search and all of everything ran through Google servers. Everything ran through Google. They're in a state, I would assume, allegedly, my opinion, of chaos right now. They're working 24 hours a day right now because they're getting no respect when it comes to their models. They're getting no respect when it comes to their software. They're not getting the flood of users. If I can go in and I can connect my own website with my own domain name and, dare I say, my email, my calendar, do you understand? No one is safe. And the fractional, the good word right now, today's $1 word, the fractionalization of and democratization. In other words, we're in a pyramid right here. You know, the very few own everything, the very few companies, the crafts, the P&Gs, Procter & Gamble's, the same companies own everything. The Dasanis own everything. They own Dannon and da-da-da. Pepsi, PepsiCo, they own everything. The same thing with energy, the same thing with, doesn't matter. It's all 99-1. 1% own 99%. However, once you start doing this, people do not understand that when you are given power and you are given opportunity, it's going to look like your job is completely lost, your industry is lost, but that's giving you power to now have agency over making your own money, your own livelihood. It doesn't matter. You can do it wherever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can make whatever you want. You can create whatever you want. The problem is that we have been conditioned and we have been indoctrinated that we must, the bell rings, I sit down. The bell rings again, I get up, I go to the next classroom. Okay, I'm late because the other bell rang, and now I'm here for 42 minutes, and I'm at gym class for 42 minutes. I'm doing this for 42 minutes, and you are in a Prussian-style education system without the creative juices to think for yourself, for your own agency. If you don't have your own agency, this world looks really scary, because you don't know how to operate any other way. I was told to go to school to be smart. And when I'm smart and I get my graduate degree or my PhD, that the world is going to give me money because I did things that other people did not do. That world is no longer existing. For all the doctors, for all the lawyers, for all the PhDs, for all the higher education, that world does not exist anymore. That world's gone. And to be honest, there should be a celebration among the people who are not in that world. But there's a lot of fear. And I understand it. Yeah, I think I have to permanently turn the audio down a little bit. I don't know if that's it. Or if that's it. I don't know. One of them should have done it. It's going to take adjusting to get used to. Because the parents of, you know what, I'm going to wait for that and let everything, this is the most important right here. This is the most important. Let's see what my user is at. 54%, perfect. Because I'm getting a reset today on my other account. Okay. Again, we are going to reiterate it. We need to spawn up as many agents as possible to ensure that my desktop Orbit app is able to connect virtually to my Mac Studio, spinning up in a virtual environment in my Mac Studio. We are going to take that and put it into a VPS that is in someone else's cloud or someone else's server. For now, we're going to use my Mac Studio as the actual virtual cloud or as the virtual server. I want to have the CLI of each of the AI models to be able to be downloaded into the Orbit desktop app, connected in real time to the iOS mobile app, and I can connect my subscription to OpenAI and to Claude so that I can code virtually and infinitely from my desktop and from my phone from the same account using the subscription models. The way to do this is have each AI model's CLI within a harness to make sure that this is possible. Spawn up whatever agents we need to make sure that the orchestrator has all the information, all the coding, all the architect, all the database to realize this goal for today. This is the number one aspect that must be tested and thoroughly reviewed, and then push this to the iOS and desktop after a 100 out of 100 score, and I'm going to be testing this live today. Vitally important, this is the main goal for today. If you do not know what I am asking, then you ask me. What is the future, by the way? The future is very fast now. If you do not create your own environment in which you are creating, then you will be beholden to the ADE of one of the AI models, which is fine, but your entire business model is going to be on quicksand because 4 months, not 4 months like as in the number 4, but 4 months, the entire system, Mark, we got to stop complaining. 4 months. People have been talking about Claude and Claude Code. Now we got a new dog in town. That dog's got a lot of bark, and that dog has multiple bites, and that's OpenAI. I am truly shocked at how far ahead OpenAI is in their thinking when it comes to adding in things that people want. Shocked. What is not up for grabs? Okay, so let's go into this real quick. This was, oh yeah. We need to just continue and push this live. I need you to continue with this and commit it once the orchestrator makes this a score of 100 out of 100, spawning up whatever amount of agents necessary to get the job done. And then tell me once you're done that the orchestrator spawns the necessary agents in an infinite loop to ensure that not only the graphics are rendering perfectly, we have the engine that is on an elite level, whether that's the Unreal Engine 3JS or whatever you need to make sure that that engine with the assets library is wired beautifully, and put this into an infinite design, wiring, data architecture loop, bringing everything to a 100. Anthropic started to meet with a lot of their investors. There's so much news, it's crazy. I don't even know. Okay. Between me, the owner, and you, the orchestrator, what is necessary for us to make sure that this is usable today? I want to be able to go around Perplexity.com and all of the, what do I have to do today and everything else. I want this blue icon right here everywhere. I want to drag it off here and put it up on the upper right, put it on the upper left. I want it to have my to-do list, my calendar. It has my bookmarks, my websites. It has my inbox. It has everything. I can talk with it. It's my personal assistant, a personal AI assistant all over the place. And I can drag and drop anywhere on my computer. That is the future, boys and girls. That is the future. That is the future. I might just put this into this guy right here. I might put this right here. That's the future. My AI is this bubble. The problem with Codex is a closed source model. In the future, it's going to be an open source model that you can control anywhere in the world with any device. Your Apple Watch, your Meta glasses, your cell phone. Hey, Todd, add in this. Hey, Todd, do this. Hey, Todd, tell me this answer. And it's going to use not Siri AI. It's going to use Todd AI. And it's going to have your build, your website. I'm going to be going live every single day, 10 to 12 o'clock. I love going earlier. I love ending later or earlier. I have to go to the men's room. I want to continue this build. I want to literally take this to the next level. This icon is going to be the future. This icon right here. This icon is going to have everything. It's going to be able to open up the desktop app. Wow. Well, I got to figure that out. Because my CPU, computer must be melting, you're right. My CPU says 5%. So something's going up and down. That's weird. I wonder if it's not VS Code. I don't think it's VS Code. No, I don't know. I gotta look that up. Because I noticed the amount of people coming in and out were very, yeah, wow, I see it right now.